Hi friends, MD Vegan. Applesauce, my topic today. And I made an applesauce before. I love it. It's a wonderful breakfast. Just eating the applesauce is so delightful. I make it raw. That's my favorite one. And today I found a new variation with a carrot. Here I have 3 apples. You can see I just cleansed them a little bit into small pieces for the blender. Yeah, it's easier for the blender. And 1 carrot. That's the ratio. 3 apples, 1 carrot. You know, that's it. To start, put it in the blender right away. And you have to have a power blender, or otherwise you blend longer and longer, because it's important for apple sauce that it is creamy and really smooth. So the power blender is easier. You will see, I still have to blend for some time. It's not that easy because the apples, they have a lot of fiber and they're pretty firm. It takes some time to get them really smooth, but you get there for sure. Yeah, don't give up. Here, and 1 carrot. Also cleanse a little bit. And if the carrot is a little bit bitter, sometimes we have older carrot. Yeah, then you just peel it a little bit with a veggie peeler. That's just the thinnest slice, skin. You can take it off, and then the bitter flavor is away. That's nicer. But I didn't need to do it here. It was pretty okay, the carrot. But sometimes you have a little bit more bitter carrot, then just take it off if you like. No problem. So then the next ingredient is dates. That is important. Yeah, I have here about 28 dates or so. It's a pretty high amount of dates. When you watch recipes where they make classical applesauce, they cook it, they boil it in water, a little bit of water, and then they put a lot of sugar in there. That's for a good reason. It tastes much better when it's a little bit sweeter, and also it gets creamier. Yeah, it gets a smoother, nicer texture with the dates. The flavor also is nicer. Put 20 dates in or so with 3 apples. It's a lot, yeah, but I was surprised. I tried with less, it didn't work. Had to be more dates. So be sure you take enough sweetener of your choice. And 1 lemon. Yeah, that's important because first you balance the sweetness of the dates. That's very nice balanced with lemon. And the lemon also makes the apple sauce keep its color. When you don't put a lemon in there, or lemon juice like we have at hand, then the apple sauce might turn brown, dark, and that doesn't look nice. That is oftentimes in a recipe, I just put a piece of lemon in there without the peel, and then you have the color, the nicer color, because the lemon keeps the ingredients from oxidating. Oxidating makes it brown, and that is a kind of wasting, and you don't want to have that. You just put a lemon in there, the magic happens. Yeah. And now, what I said before, the ginger. The ginger goes in there too, and really, it makes such a difference. Yeah. I was so surprised, really, to taste that with ginger. It is such a boost. It makes such a warm. But if you take too much ginger, that is a little bit hot. You don't like it anymore. Ginger is very powerful, but it's a classic, of course, with all of these ingredients. It is a classic with lemon, of course, in the first place, the ginger. Then you can also use it nice with dates. Ginger is nice with sweet flavors. It is hot and sweet. It's perfect. And of course, apple juice, apples with ginger is perfect. It makes a little sizzling feeling. It makes really apple juice very fantastic, like a soda. A ginger and apple juice. You have to try that. It's really magic. And of course, with carrots, carrot juice, the ginger also a classic. So ginger is perfect here, and I will use a little bit of water just to make the blender go, because if you blend here, when the coarse apple pieces are directly on the blades of the blender, then it might take some time for the blender to pull them down. I often do that, not so much for the texture. You don't need it for the texture of the water, but for the blender. Put a little bit of water in there, yeah, half a cup just, you see, to cover the blades. It is so much easier for the blender to get the work done, because these blenders, they are made for fruit, but they can run into a little problem if they have a heavy start. And there's so much power on these blenders that the connection to the motor, yeah, that can be destroyed easily. So make it easy for the blender to start. Also, when you have a blender and you start with a small speed, a low speed, the same can happen. Yeah? The low speed can ruin the motor also, the connection between the motor and the blades, because it is not strong enough, and then it can get stuck, and that can destroy the blender. So many blenders start with a low speed and you turn it up. This one here can only start in a high speed, but I have an extra one for make it started very, very fast. That avoids any risk for the blender to get damaged when it has a little bit of resistance here. I show you in a moment. That is this speed test. This is the speed one. Nothing can happen with that. And in case the blender has a little problem, I use this to make it work. So I tell you in advance so that I don't need to explain what I'm doing. Blender dance now. You see, it's a lot of applesauce here. It's half the blender is now full. You see, there's half the blender that is, I think it's more than a liter almost. I'm not so sure, but it's a lot. So the blender has to work a lot. So I think I will have to blend one more time to get it really creamy. I told you before, but I want to taste it. If I have, the right amount of dates, lemon, ginger, everything. You can already see it has a wonderful fragrance. You can already see the color. This is what you put when you put a carrot in there. It looks so nice, the orange color with the carrot. That is a whole different applesauce. It's a new applesauce, and I like it so much, yeah. But I have to blend it maybe one more time. But first, let me check the flavor. That's important. The right amount of dates here. I was surprised how many I needed, and of course not too much ginger. Let's see now what it is. It looks nice. It looks already creamy. That's good. It's perfect, I tell you. But yes, it needs more blending. Get it really nice and creamy. And by the way, when I blend it alone, it will turn into warm applesauce. That's also very nice. And the longer you blend, the warmer it gets. Also the texture changes from the apple, from the fiber. Fiber and carrots, all plants have fiber. And the fiber is responsible for the texture. Usually when you cook food, in earlier times, we had more cooking at home because we thought that was necessary. Now I cook also, but I do more raw food. I think that is nicer, and also change the texture in a similar way as cooking does. But it also with the blending, I noticed if you have the fiber of an apple and a carrot, for example, you blend it longer, you get a very nice change in texture you wouldn't expect from an apple. So other fruit is very interesting too with the fiber. So one more blending, and as I said, blending can be very nice to transform the texture. And texture is a very important thing, often overlooked in cooking. But in raw food, we come to that immediately, because raw food, the texture of raw food is really different from cooking, where a lot of texture is changed by the cooking process. But the blender can do a similar thing without giving the heat to it. And that's also nice. Blender dance! I guess I'll leave it at that. I could even blend it longer to get it warmer, to have a warm applesauce. It's so delicious. You can do so many fantastic things with a blender. And just with an apple. Adding a carrot now. It's so surprising how nice it can be. Yeah, let's see. It looks nicer now even. Very nice. Also the color is more like a carrot. Because if you blend more, and more of all these nutrients from the carrot also come out. That's what the blender does. And that's a very good thing. We know from science now, some people asked before, when you blend with a power blender or another blender, the food gets destroyed, not so good. Well, that's not true. The opposite is the case. We know now the blender breaks down the cells from the plants, and then you get more nutrients in the system. That's wonderful. It's good. You use the food better in a more economic way. So blending is really highly recommended. No side effect of that. It's whole food, plant-based diet. Perfect food. So let's see now. Oh, you definitely don't want to miss that. So nice. I show you what it looks like. I just put it into my glass here to show you. You see, and here, now it comes. Isn't it wonderful? Here. I love applesauce so much. Yeah, you have to get it right, because if you don't put enough dates in there, it can happen that you eat the applesauce and you have a blunt feeling of the teeth. Yeah, sometimes you have such a blunt feeling, and that is not really bad. Just you have to brush your teeth afterwards anyway. You wait half an hour after eating, and you brush your teeth, because the enamel of the teeth, what keeps the enemy from the teeth away, the sugars and the acids and so, the enamel, the hard cover of the teeth, that gets a little bit softer directly after eating. So you want to wait a little bit until the enamel gets harder again. That takes 20 minutes, half an hour or so, and then I brush my teeth, not directly after food. That's what the doctors say, but just a small thing maybe. That blunt feeling, that can come, and it can also happen with the applesauce. When you just blend up an apple, sometimes you have this blunt feeling, but that's why I put a lot of dates in there, and the ginger, and then this feeling gets better. And I don't eat everything here. I will put it in a glass container, a sealed container, put it in the refrigerator, and enjoy any time, as is, or with anything I would like. So many ways to have a wonderful applesauce. This will be my breakfast today. I'm greatly looking forward to it. And I will thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You can make your own applesauce variation. This one is highly recommended now. And if you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Very welcome to have another recipe every single day. And you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.